Welcome back to chapter 11, guys. Today we're going to be talking about testing infrastructure and how Rust already has that kind of built in. So if you've ever used Python and PyTest, you know that when you create tests, you need to put test underscore in the function name in order for the test to be created. Well, Cargo has the same thing. But before we go into that, why is this so important? Well, making some mistakes that the compiler will catch for you. When it comes to logic bugs, that's not going to work, right? A logic bug is essentially the same as I locked my front door and all the windows were still open though. Hello? Anyone can get in. Any bug can get in. So to cover this, we're going to talk about how Rust handles this. And the way Rust handles this is with a pound bracket test. And if that syntax is before a function, then we know that that is considered a test function. Anyways, there's three macros, powerful macros. One is assert, one is assert equals, and one assert not equals. If that didn't make any more sense than should have, then I don't know what to tell you, because assert is pretty much telling you check for this, and if this is good, then I want you to assert it. And we're going to go over some examples as well. Next, we're going to talk about custom failure messages using assert. How if there is something that gets asserted, you can have a custom failure message. So that way, when you're going through multiple different logic tests, you're making sure that you know where the assert is happening. Next, we're going to talk about panic. We discussed how panic is worked on the function level, but let's say when you're creating tests, you don't always want the test to be the good path. You want a bad path. You want to make sure that when you're running your code, that the branch for hitting panic is hitting and that it's responding properly. So that's how we're going to inject panic in there, make sure that's working properly. Let's get right into it, right? So you can see here we have this source folder. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually just do it on the top level. You're going to create a folder called tests, right? And inside this folder, you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to call mine test task.rs. Sorry, blanked out for a second. Now, this is interesting. So this lives on a top level, which means it's not part of your source. So in order to make sure that you can access the module here, you're going to have to create a lib.rs. Cargo is going to essentially look for this file because you want it to be a public module that you can reference. So here I've just done public mod task, and that's pretty much it. Now when I call task.rs, we're going to do use. Before we explain there, you see this cargo toml? Well, our package name, chapter 11, is the exact one we're going to use. So we're going to do chapter 11. We're going to give it our library, which is now task. And then everything in here that is inside our library, we can just reference like we normally do. Okay, so that's pretty much it for there. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we know that this configuration is test. And we can create a module for this, but I'm pretty sure we can just do this as well. We can just say test. So here, we're going to create a new function. We're going to call it new test start. And we're just going to do that. And what this essentially does is it's creating a new task test function called new task starts. And here what we're going to do is we're just going to do something very basic. We're going to create a task priority, give it a priority, and then task type, we're going to call it video edit here. And so if you remember from our last video, we essentially created this as an option. Now, because we created this as an option, you can't just put none here, sadly. You do have to put no extra because we have a summarize trait that goes into this parameter. So just put no extra. And now what we're going to do is we're going to assert equals here. And we're going to make sure that our status is to do Now, if you know, when we create a new task, so if we go up here to our task here, when we create a new task, our status is always to do. So now to run this, all you're gonna do is cargo test, and boom, just like that, you'll see it's found our unit tests, and it's created our task target debug dependency here with .exe, and look at that, 1 passed, 0 failed, 0 ignored, and just like that, we've created a test. We can do some more tests here if we really want to, such as, for example, we can do deadline. So we can do another test here, and we're going to call it function deadline summary works. And here what we're doing is we're going to create a new deadline, give it a due date. Let's just do it this way. Some people like to write it in 1 line. For me, my eyes, I just would personally prefer it to be more of like this, nicer to see, you know. And then now let's do an assert equals here, and we're going to make sure that d.summary here is exactly the same as the one we are passing it. And boom. So let's save that and let's try again. Not found in scope. Yep, that's because we don't have deadline here. Let's try that again. What is the problem? Method not found in deadline. Deadline does not have summary. Did I call it something else? Chapter 11, task, deadline. No, it does a summary. Chapter 11, tasks, summary. Why is this not working? Oh, do I need to give that as well? Interesting. Okay, you need to pass the trait as well. Okay, so as you can see, we got 2 pass. Let's see if I put a dude here. It should fail. Yep, as you can see, it failed. And so just like that, we can pretty much build up our whole testing infrastructure on the fly. And this right here, I think, is beautiful. Like, when I was working with Python, it wasn't that hard, but setting up Poetry or setting up the PyEnv, setting up PyTest, and getting this whole thing up and running was kind of a pain for me in the beginning. And the fact that Cargo just comes installed with it, or I mean, sorry, Rust just comes installed with the integration just makes it so much nicer. Like, look at how fast we got this integration up and running, guys. It was instant. So, anyways, that's pretty much automated testing in Rust. Unit, integration, panics, you can do anything. Next time, we're going to unleash Rust's real-world safety nets, which is concurrency, threads, messaging, and fearless parallelism. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.